Hi, I'm Travis.
And this is Jonathan.
And we'd like to welcome you to the 100 Ways to Love a Cat podcast.
That's the podcast that eventually plays the song 100 Ways to Love a Cat.
And that will be coming up very soon. To our listeners and to our 53 new listeners who are still around, thank goodness. Hey, we must be doing something right, huh, Jonathan?
Whatever we're doing, those 53 people specifically really enjoy it.
They seem to be. I mean, I don't know why else they would listen. Although I've heard the term hate listen. Have you heard that before?
I have.
Where you just listen to things because you hate it? That doesn't make any sense to me. Is that made up?
No, but you hate it, and then you call your friend and you say, could you get a load of those bozos doing that, whatever they were trying to do?
Why would you?
Just a feeling of superiority. The same way that you call somebody up and you say, hey, did you see what Maude had on? Ridiculous. That hasn't been in fashion for 30 years, you'd say, or whatever.
I think that's made up. I don't think anybody hate listens to anything. I think that's a made up
Or
something.
like you go to a restaurant that you know is going to be terrible, and then you call up your friends and you say, oh, I just had the worst meal.
Why would you eat something that's made up?
Well, it's really about friendship.
Well, that I understand, but I don't know why anybody would eat something that tastes bad.
It made me sick.
Well, I'm sure that none of you are hate listeners, because, I don't think they exist. And we thank you for coming back. And we also want to thank Shelby and Pierre. We don't know who to thank the most between the two, because we're very confused about this. And there's a chance that Shelby and Pierre, or one of the two, may be confused as well, because I hate to say that someone is a liar. I don't want to say that. I'm not in a position to call someone a liar.
And these are the winners of our 50 listener challenge.
Well,
right?
There was never meant to be more than one, because one, again, there's two situations here. We received an email from Shelby saying that she and Pierre were responsible for the 53 new listeners, which they may be. But if that were the case, the 50 on our 50th episode, we had a challenge of 50 new listener episode, or contest, challenge contest, whatever you want to call it. One person was supposed to, each of the 30 listeners that we had were supposed to bring 50 new listeners. In this case, two individuals brought 53 new listeners, again, on top of the 20, I would say, that we already had.
Did we just send them 2 T-shirts?
No.
Did that fix it? Or,
No.
Or it's still a problem even after?
Shelby said that they were both responsible, which, fine, that's great. We appreciate it. But the rules to the challenge was one person bring 50, which means in that case, if it was evenly divided, they both brought 20, that's 40, it's 30, it's 20, 26 or 7.5. I'm not sure. But, I just don't have a calculator, and I'm terrible at math, so forgive me for even attempting that. I don't know why I did that, to embarrass myself.
It would have been fun if you had a calculator. Or if we had one of those machines where it makes noise when you hit the keys, and then it whirs and clicks, and then there's a tape, and you can hear the tape.
Oh, the tape come out, the ticker.
And you could rip that off,
tape.
And you could say, looks like 26 or 27.5 or whatever.
I don't think they make those anymore.
That's a
it's
shame.
Old-timey.
It
is a shame. It is a shame. I like those.
Horseshoes. Everybody used to make their own horseshoes, and now no one even knows how. If there was a tornado or an earthquake, I don't know what would happen to the horses.
It's a shame to think about, but you're right. Where was I? Oh, Pierre then wrote us an email saying that Pierre and Shelby were responsible for the 53 listeners, but
I hate to see a friendship rupture.
But Pierre seemed to insist that he was responsible for more of those listeners than Shelby.
That's a little sneaky, if you ask me.
Or was he trying to defend himself? Did he know that Shelby sent that first email and wait a minute, that's a bunch of bull. I need to stand up for myself. Is it sneaky, or is it,
brave? I guess you could say that Paul Revere was sneaky too, riding that horse around.
Well, he was screaming at people. That's not sneaky.
Sure, but in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but still, either way, if he was sneaky, he'd be going inside to each of the homes and going, "Hey, you know, like they're coming.
Well,
But
if
he was just screaming it loud, where he was waking people up.
I'm just saying, if he's such a big man, why don't you do it in the middle of the day?
Okay, now that makes sense. But either way, we don't know what time of day that they sent these emails. We just got them the following day.
It could have been in the middle of the night. They could have been whispering to each other as they try not to wake anyone up.
No idea. So
I just hate going behind your friend's back.
Well,
all
I don't
to
know.
win a T-shirt.
Well,
I say just give them both a T-shirt, the sneak and the oblivious one.
Well, we could, but then we're not adhering to the rules that we laid out, that we set down, that we, in good faith, thought people would abide by. I don't think that you should reward someone for disobeying or in the face of structure to say, no, I'm going to tear this down. I'm going to do things my way, no matter what anyone says. I admire people like that, but that they'd have no place in a contest that you and I
That's true.
came up with.
I just think that we're talking about this. I feel like it's a little bit of housekeeping that maybe we should behind the scenes, because all we do is we go back and forth and we dither and we go this way and that. We need to take some action.
We're going to take some
punish
action.
one of our listeners, or just send them both a T-shirt, which I think I've got envelopes addressed to each of them right here, even though they live together.
Well, I've decided that we are going to take some action. You're correct. Not about sending both of them a T-shirt, but about getting to the bottom of this. Being that there's absolutely no way that we can go back in time and sneak over the shoulder of Shelby or Pierre or both of them and see exactly what they were doing or how they brought those 53. There's just not possible. There's no way to do that. But there is a way to seek the truth. There is a way beyond what it was, logic, or beyond the realms of the capable to the normal person. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about people with psychic ability.
Oh, I don't know, Travis. I don't think we should mess around with that stuff.
Listen.
I don't believe in it, but also I don't want to mess around with dark forces.
Listen to me. It's not dark forces. If someone is gifted that power, if someone is in a terrible accident and is in a coma and wakes up with a true gift, or if they're just talented without hopefully ever having to be injured in any way.
What, did an accident happen to all the psychics?
No, just Christopher Walken in Dead Zone. That's the
that would
only
make
one
me
I'm aware
like
of.
them more.
I liked him in that. I think that's one of his better roles, I think.
He's
That's
definitely
very good.
great in
Yes.
that.
Also, he had to touch people. Psychics that can just look.
Oh, that sounds like
yeah.
That sounds like a scam to me. Like they're telling
Grab
you
a
they're a
hold of you,
psychic
yeah.
and they just want to get a hold of you.
He had to grab a hold of people, whether it be a nurse.
That's
or,
not really being a psychic so much as
Well,
sort
no,
of a lech.
when he touches them, then he can see and he knows.
Yeah, I'll bet.
But I
Tell
like
it
a psychic.
to somebody who's buying Christopher Walken.
I prefer a psychic that can keep their hands to themselves and still have the ability to see into the future. And I think I have found that person in.
Oh, Travis, I'm warning you. This is hogwash and potentially dangerous with devils.
Madame Ikea. We're going to go visit Madame Ikea.
Wait, is she named after the store?
I don't know. I'm not sure of that.
We should ask
the logo
her.
is similar on the sign out front. I don't know if she's affiliated with them.
It would be funny if she'd never heard of the store, her being a psychic and all. Plus, it's a fairly well-known store.
If she was first, then she's got a hell of a lawsuit on her hands.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about
I didn't
that.
either, but
what was her accident?
I don't believe that's the reason. I don't think she was an accident, and I don't think she doesn't have to touch anyone. She can touch an object that belongs. This is what she can do. You bring something that belongs to. Again, I don't have anything that belonged to Shelby or Pierre, except an email which came on a computer or your iPhone or your tablet or on and on and on. And we can certainly take all of that to Madame Ikea.
All our electronics. Okay, I'll start unplugging.
And she can put her hands on that, and she will be able to read. And I think we'll get to the bottom of this. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to giving a T-shirt of their choosing of any kind to Shelby or Pierre, one of the two.
I think it's a lot of hokum, and I'm scared to death.
Listen, you're going to be broadened. not you physically, like your perceptions of things is going to be broadened.
I'm really scared.
Well, don't be scared. It's
what
okay.
if she demands to touch me?
What was demand?
Well, I don't know.
No,
how does this work?
I made sure of that. I told you. I like psychics who can keep their hands to themselves. She said, just bring in. I think she was thinking like a wallet or a picture or something. But we're going to take.
Does she have Wi-Fi? Because
I don't know if she needs that. I don't know. We'll find out. I'll call her and find out. But I've made us appointment for Tuesday. We're going to go in and find out. And I'm excited to share the news with Shelby and/or Pierre next week that will be our 53rd episode. Can you believe that?
That's how many new listeners we have.
Wow, I didn't put that together, Jonathan.
Ooh, it is a magical time if you believe in that.
Well, let's not
be careful of spirits.
Let's not keep our 53 new listeners waiting on our 53rd episode.
This is what they came for.
Here we go. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 1. Keep a tidy house for them. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 2. Be sure to clip their claws. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 3. Scoop their box daily. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 4. Brush them with a hairbrush. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 5. Don't squeeze their paws hard. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 6. Give them some fresh water. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 7. Let them have a fish. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 8. Buy them a scratching post. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 9. Put them in your lap. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 10. Be quiet when they're sleeping. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 11. Whisper, I love you. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 12. Rub their soft belly. 100 loving ways.
100 loving ways. 100 loving ways. 100 loving ways. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 13. Make sure their tail is clean. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 14. Give them a yarn ball. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 15. Make them a nice bed. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 16. Buy him some catnip. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 17. Play them some music. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 18. Get them a cute collar. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 19. Make sure they're vaccinated. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 20. Take their picture. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 21. Brush their teeth. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 22. Let them watch TV. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 23. Don't let them be outside by themselves. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 24. Feed them some cat food. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 25. Make sure their eyes are clean. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 26. Put a liner in their box. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 27. Give them a mat to wipe their feet on. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 28. Don't forget them on Christmas. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 29. Make sure they're spayed or neutered. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 30. Hold them like a baby. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 31. Let them have a towel or blanket. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 32. Keep your toilet lid down. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 33. Don't let them chew on power cords. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 34. Set them by the window. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 35. Cat-proof your home. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 36. Change their litter weekly. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 37. Praise them lavishly. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 38. Never feed him chicken bones. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 39. Teach them a funny trick. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 40. Give them a toy mouse. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 41. Clean up their hairballs. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 42. Keep them away from candles. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 43. Give him a separate zone. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 44. Never play with them aggressively. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 45. Increase his cuddle time. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 46. Be sure to watch his weight. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 47. If you leave, turn on the radio. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 48. Scold him firmly but with kindness. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 49. Respond when he meows. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 50. Give them a thing of cat grass. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 51. Scratch under his chin. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 52. Remind him that you love him. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 53. Give them a box to play in. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 54. If they're old, help them get down. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 55. Let them lick you with their rough tongue. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 56. Record precious memories. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 57. Dress them up in ribbons, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat, 100 loving ways. Wait, 58. Give them a flea treatment, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat, 100 loving ways. Wait, 59. Make a vet appointment, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat, 100 loving ways. Wait, 60. Give them a little wet food, 100 loving ways. 100 loving ways, 100 loving ways, 100 loving ways, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat, 100 loving ways. Wait, 61. When they scratch you, don't get angry, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat, 100 loving ways. Wait, 62. Give them some private time, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat, 100 loving ways. Wait, 63. Treat them with respect, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat, 100 loving ways. Wait, 64. When he grooms himself, say good job, 100 loving ways. 100 loving ways, 100 loving ways, 100 loving ways, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat, 100 loving ways. Wait, 65. Let them chase a laser pointer, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat, 100 loving ways. Wait, 66. Clean out their ears, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat, 100 loving ways. Wait, 67. Never smoke around them, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat, 100 loving ways. Wait, 68. Buy a sturdy cat carrier, 100 loving ways. 100 loving ways, 100 loving ways, 100 loving ways, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat, 100 loving ways. Wait, 69. Listen to them purr, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat, 100 loving ways. Wait, 70. Tempted by temptations, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat, 100 loving ways. Wait, 71. Give them your full attention, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat, 100 loving ways. Wait, 72. Don't trap them in the laundry basket, 100 loving ways. 100 loving ways, 100 loving ways, 100 loving ways, 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 73. Let them sleep in bed with you. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 74. Make sure they're not locked in the closet. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 75. Don't let them play in plastic bags. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 76. Give them a massage. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 77. Touch him as you pass by. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 78. If he's on the couch, don't be mad. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 79. If they hate fans, turn the fan off. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 80. When there's a bird outside, say, hey, look. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 81. Intrigue them with a funny sound. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 82. Don't forget sardine time. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 83. Let him play with your old socks. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 84. Stroke in the direction that his fur goes. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 85. Admire his long whiskers. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 86. Keep his box away from his food. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 87. Pretend that he's a piano. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 88. Don't interrupt them while they're eating. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 89. When they're scared, go and comfort them. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 90. Let him have a lick. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 91. If their breath stinks, give them greenies. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 92. Give him a ball with a bell in it. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 93. If it's hot, put ice in their bowl. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 94. Let him drink out of the sink. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 95. Don't vacuum if it scares him. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 96. Draw a picture of him. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 97. If you drop some food, it's theirs now. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 98. Read him a book. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 99. Feed him again. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 100. Just love them every day. 100 loving ways. 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 to love. To love, to love, to love. A cat. 100 ways to love a cat.
And there you have it.
I don't need a psychic to tell me that we both really enjoy that song.
I can't tell you how much I enjoy it. I've tried to express it in so many ways, and all I know to do is to share it and share the feeling that the song gives to me with so many other people, especially the 53 new people listening to our podcast. We can't thank you enough for coming back. We'll hope you be back for 54 and 55 and on and on and on. We're here to do that, and we're going to go on. And also to Shelby and Pierre, thank you, and/or we don't appreciate, the misinformation. But
should we just send them both a T-shirt, but then have them send it back, and then we have something they've touched?
Ooh, I didn't think about that. But they're not going to send it back. Why would you send it back?
No, they got what they
to be
came
ratted
for.
out, to be found out. You're not going to provide.
Well, we just tell them that maybe there was DNA from a murder or something, and we need to.
But then now
police.
Then we're being dishonest.
Oh, I forgot that we're supposed to be honest too.
We're going to go see Madame Ikea on Tuesday, and we'll be back next week, and hopefully we'll be able to get to the bottom, because I cannot wait to award whoever truly may be the winner of the 50 listener challenge. We're excited. I was honestly hoping to do that on the 51st episode.
That would have made more sense.
It would have.
What are the T-shirts they requested?
I think Pierre wants. See, here's another situation. Pierre wants a Mr. Roboto sticks, which I haven't. I'm not even going to bother looking for these until till we know. And then I think Shelby wanted Hello Kitty.
But now Shelby is saying that they both deserve T-shirts, and Pierre is saying, let me just see if I've got this straight. Pierre is saying that he deserves one more, or
no.
we don't know.
He's saying he's more responsible. I guess it's up to us who, again, if I wasn't clear, I will take responsibility for not being clear with the rules to the challenge. I will. Oh, it's not just Hello Kitty. It's a Hello Kitty, a Jaws Hello Kitty, where Hello Kitty looks like Jaws coming. The Jaws movie. It's a Hello Kitty that looks like that.
Sounds terrifying. I don't like. There's magic in the air, and I'm afraid it's black magic, and that's all bunkum. But
no, that's a bunch of. You're gonna find out. It's not black magic. It's helpful, good magic. That's all that Madame Ikea knows how to bring into the world, from what I understand. And I'm going to let her prove that to us on Tuesday. Thanks so much for listening. Come back and join us next week for the 100 Ways to Love a Cat podcast.